Hi guys, today's video was inspired by a book that I read, and the book is called The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous. I hope I'm saying his name right. It's not a video about Bitcoin though. Even though I am a big supporter of Bitcoin, I am orange pilled. And fun fact about this book is it's a signed copy. And it has a little declaration from my friend. Thank you, Tommy. I don't think he will watch this video. But anyway, what happened is that I was reading a chapter from this book. And you know when you're reading something and you have to put the book down and just think about what you just read because it resonates so much or it clicks, like something clicks. And that's what happened to me with this specific chapter. And I wanted to make a video about it. The chapter is about a concept or an aspect that we all use to make decisions in our life. Like, I'm pretty sure you use this to make decisions, I use it, and everyone else, whether we do it consciously or unconsciously. And this aspect is called, or this concept is called time preference. And if you don't know what that means, I didn't know at the time of reading this book. So it's essentially how much you value getting something today versus later. And there are two different types of time preference. So one of them is high time preference. That means that you want something now. And low time preference means that you can wait, or you're willing to wait to get a reward later on. And yeah, essentially with low preference, of course, there must be a higher reward for you to wait. We don't just wait to get the same thing we would get now. Basically, to memorize it, I substitute, because I think it can be a little bit counterintuitive. So I substitute the words time preference with impatience. So high impatience means you want something now, and low impatience, you can wait. Of course, the context of this book was very different because it was about, the history of money. What made it interesting for me is how well this concept applies to business. Because I think if you can use this as a framework to make decisions, or even to just look at the way you make decisions, I truly believe it can make your business more successful and last longer. You can create a long-lasting business. So let's take the example of a fisherman who goes fishing every day using a fishing rod. And then one day this fisherman decides to build a boat instead. So of course, for him to do that, he has to, take time away from fishing, and he has to actually invest his efforts and time into building the boat. And that means he won't have fish to bring home with him for a while. And why would he do that? Because of course, at the end, he can take the boat and he can bring a higher variety of fish back home, and he can also bring higher amounts of fish with him. And not only that, but I think one of the key aspects here is that we don't only have to delay our gratification to have a higher reward, but there is also a risk attached to it. So this fisherman, he might attempt to build a boat, but it might not succeed. Like, he might fail, and at the end, he will have spent his time, resources, and he will not have any fish to bring home with him. And I think that applies to business so well, because when you start something from scratch, not only you have to delay your gratification, like you have to put in the time to work, you don't know whether you will make sales, like you will take a risk, everything might fail. And yeah, I just think that's so, it illustrates so well what it means to have a business. Okay, so let's get into it. And I'm going to talk about what high time preference looks like in business. And I would say one of the first points is that if you have a high time preference, like you are impatient, you want the reward right now, you are usually chasing quick wins. And I am guilty of this. I talked about it in my previous videos. And that means that you are more easily swayed by all the trends that are going on. Even right now, for instance, you can take an example, AI or I don't know, TikTok. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't use any of these new technologies that appear, but you have to ask yourself, is it a distraction or is it actually enhancing a business that you already have? Or is it just something that, you know, makes you, it's like a shiny object that you're chasing, a new thing? I think if you don't have a long-term view, like you want your reward right now, you're more likely to fall into the trap of chasing these things. And second is it makes you have an impatience with growth. If you have a high time preference, let's say you start something that has some small success, like your business starts making 1K or 2K, then you want more, like you want to 10x your business much faster, like in a few months. I think what I had to ask myself is, at what cost am I doing this? I want to have a higher growth much faster, but what am I paying to have this? And in my example, I publish books, and there was this one time where I was trying to, you know, scale my business faster. So I started publishing in a new book niche, and basically the thing is that I didn't do enough research. I wasn't very into it. I was, you know, just trying to put out some new products to make money. But what happened is that it flopped. So my customers were even unsatisfied because I did not put enough effort in. I got some bad reviews. And at the end, like now looking back, I wish I hadn't wasted all my efforts, because I could have just done, you know, the boring work, like work on the books that were already doing well. And I would have just accumulated more success with that. And the third really important point is that when you have high time preference, you avoid deep work. And by deep work, I mean both the boring work that is required, you know, for business, like the annoying tasks, but also building a system for your business. Exactly like in the case of the fisherman, when you build systems for your business, it takes time away from your day-to-day business, which can be very anxiety-inducing. I don't know how to say. Like you're not focusing on making money right now, but you have to take time off, and of course it's annoying that you have to deal with, you know, writing SOPs and documenting everything, and then hiring people and getting disappointed because some people you hire will not work well with you, so you have to keep trying. It's a very time-consuming process, and it doesn't bring you satisfaction in the moment. But once you are done with it, the rewards, it's like, you know, you have a higher variety of fish now, and you can have much higher amounts of fish basically with your business. Like you have people who work for you, who can do the work for you, so now you can produce so much work, you can buy back your time. And now to focus on having low time preference. I think the first important point here is that when you have low time preference, you reinvest the profits in your business. When you understand the value of investing your money for the future, you will not be tempted to take your money out to, I don't know, upgrade your lifestyle or buy unnecessary things that you don't need to. And I'm not saying like you shouldn't enjoy your life at all. Of course, I'm talking about extreme cases in which, you know, there are people who, as soon as they start making some money, they go and buy luxurious cars or like branded clothes, and yeah, you buy those things to show off, but then you're not thinking in like the long term. You don't have a long-term vision if you're doing that. Whereas if you have a long-term vision, you know that the money that you invest in your business now will bring you so much more reward in the future. Like for me personally, I know that if I hire a person now to, you know, like ghostwriters for my books, like I know that that book can make me so much more in the future. So I'm so eager even to hire that person. Like I'm willing to, like I want to hire that person. I want to invest my money because I understand what it means, you know, to later on have the reward. Yeah, and I think, yeah, the second point is that with a low time preference, you are focusing on building a brand, not just making sales. This is something that I realized after doing self-publishing for a while, and I realized it more indirectly in the sense that I published some books in the same niche, and I just started to see the benefits of having a series of books, which is you build more credibility, you have recurring customers, and you have a brand basically. Like people know that you produce these types of books and they come back to you. You have a higher variety of books in the same niche, so people have more products to buy from you. And this is essential because you don't want to just make sales, like sell one time and then you never hear from those customers again, or they never buy something from you again. And it also makes your business last longer against your competitors. Because imagine if there's somebody new coming on the market and they see, you know, your wide range of products and they think, like, they get overwhelmed. They think, oh my God, I have so much to catch up on if I want to even get to that point of this, you know, brand or whatever. And there are just so many benefits to building a strong brand. And I think probably this is the biggest realization I had. It's that in this process, you understand that whatever it is that makes your business thrive is exactly what makes your customers satisfied. And this sounds like such an obvious thing to say, but I do think that sometimes if you chase a quick win or if you chase money really fast, you can kind of start looking at customer satisfaction as a secondary thing, right? And that's okay if that's what you want. Like if you want a short-term gain, you could do that. But I think if you want something like really successful that lasts for a long time, your only focus should be like, how can I make my customers happy? You have to listen to them. You have to, you know, research what is it that they want. So I just think both parties are really happy at the end. Like your business will be really successful and your customers will be really happy, and that's just how it should be. So before I end this video, I want to share a quote that I really like from the book that I underlined from this specific chapter. I think it's something that you can use in your personal life as well. Like in life in general, this isn't really just about business. It's also about other decisions that you make in your life. So basically the author is talking about the fact that we always make trades with our future selves in every decision that we make.